Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Fumble Live on this Friday Eve. I can say that considering how badly the Lakers looked last night. I have nothing to lose at this point. We've got a lot to talk about, though. Zion apparently has an outfit that you guys don't like, and James Harden is not the James Harden of old, but we're going to get into all that. But first, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up and then share it with your friends. And now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm your girl, Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic.
Sport Chris, you can find me everywhere at CK2K, and I see what you did there. You know, I got a national televised game yet again tonight, and you trying to throw all that. That's cool. That's cool. That's all right. We trying to take down the 4-0 Bulls, and that's cool. But it's all right. It's no big deal. It's whatever.
That was a very selfish move on my behalf. I was like, I ain't got nothing to
Nah, I look. That game was frustrating. Russ had a good game, but didn't have a good game on the same time. I get it. I understand. It's okay.
It was good, but not. You're right. It was just a lot. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit in the post up. But first, let's just jump right into this situation with James Harden, because I'm a little curious to see what you feel about this, because I don't think it's really that bad as far as what's going on with James Harden right now. So we know James Harden. He's that guy. He scores a lot. He's the triple-double guy. That's what we're used to seeing from him. In his first 5 games with Houston last season, he was averaging 29 points per game, 11 assists. In his opening game with the Rockets, he had 44 points. In his first 5 games with the Nets, he was averaging 23 points. He started off with 32 points, but we didn't see a 40-point game from him until March. Right now, very much different. He's only averaging 16 points a game and 8 assists. I don't think it's that bad, considering, it seems like across the league, with the exception of the Bulls, everybody's just kind of like shaking things off right now. But he says a lot of this is because of his injury, and I think this is a fair statement. So let me just show you his quote here. He said, "I had no opportunities to play pickup or nothing this summer. Everything was rehab for 3 months from a grade 2 injury that happened 3 times in 1 season. So this is my 5th game of trying to just play with competition against somebody else. And as much as I want to rush the process to be back to hooping and killing, and you have to take your time." And no lies detected on this one for me. I'm always very leery when people come back from injuries and just try to rush the process, because it usually ends up in you aggravating an injury again. So I don't think we should be surprised that James Harden specifically is still kind of shaking the cobwebs off. Chris, do you think this is just kind of much to do about nothing, that people are all up in arms that he's not who he used to be?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. There's not much I can add to it, because I completely agree. We forget that James Harden was out for an injury and how late it was in the season. It was the playoffs, almost the Eastern Conference Finals, when he was still fighting to try and get a second round. He was still trying to fight to still play on the court. So he started his rehab way late, compared to like having an injury earlier on in the season or whatever. So yeah, he's got to be rusty trying to get together. And on top of that, he's trying to adjust to the new rules. So I'm not gonna sit here and feel bad for James Harden and we're woe is James. No, because in about probably December, maybe even sooner than that, because we probably in November, you're gonna figure it out, and James Harden's gonna be back to scoring and doing what he does, because he knows the Nets need him to do it. And James Harden, he's not gonna this ain't Space Jam. Like, I'm sure his powers and his talent didn't just disappear. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of turnaround for him, and I'm not worried about him at all. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing we forget. There's a lot. This isn't the NFL when you got to do it in 17 games. There's a lot of basketball to be played. There's a lot of time. Teams are going to shift. We're going to see a shift. I can guarantee you what we've seen in the first 5-6 games is not what we're going to see by the middle of the season. At least I hope. But I'm pretty sure.
I don't mind it if he does. If he stays this bad all year, I mean, I have no problem with it. I'm not buying it, because I know that's not how it's going to be.
Yeah, and I see Mike Glock in the chat. He says Nets need Kyrie to win. But see, this is the thing. I think we think that right now, and I'm one of those people that's on that train, but I will have to admit that that's part of the fact that I really want to see Kyrie on the court. So I'm like, nah, they need him. But at some point, if he's not going to come back and that is set in stone, another adjustment is going to be made, including their mentality. Then we'll see a different Nets. And then I think everyone's going to get to a different point. I'm not upset about this, but do you agree with that sentiment from Mike Glock that the Nets need Kyrie to win?
With this team, yes. I think any other GM would love to have Kevin Durant and James Harden as their main pieces and then go from there. But with the way that this team is built, yes, you need Kyrie Irving because they got guys, they got names, but that's about it. So with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, you got to play the outscoring game because they're not good defensively. I mean, and you're seeing that with these other teams. The minute that they have to rely on defense, they're not playing well. And I know it's early, but I mean that Miami Heat game last night was a perfect benchmark for that because the Nets were playing good, but the Miami Heat is known for their defense. And once they lock them up, and the Nets can't lock the Heat up on their end, they can't do it. So to the team that's constructed right now, I do agree with my Glock. Yeah, yes, they need Kyrie Irving to win it all. They'll probably still be a good team. But yeah, I do agree with my Glock.
So what's the plan? Because if New York keeps this mandate and Kyrie keeps his state of mind, that's out. So you have to make an adjustment. You can't just go, okay, well, we gonna play the best we can. You have to make some sort of adjustment if Kyrie is not it. So what's the plan?
The plan is that people who think that they should be watching Brooklyn Nets need to get their ass to the right stadium and watching the actual New York team and the New York Knicks because there's actually something good going on over there than this nonsense that's going on in the Brooklyn Nets. That's the plan. I ain't got no other plan for the Nets. I don't know what else you want me to say. I ain't got no other plan for them.
Well, I should have seen that, but I didn't. Right into it. Yes, it did. And I'm all fine. You absolutely right on that one. And I really hope we see Kyrie at some point. I just don't. New York's not budging. I do think if we see another couple protests, though, that maybe there'll be some give. I said that before. I'm still sticking to that, but not really sure. I'm curious to see how this one plays out because, I love James. Well, I do think he's going to eventually get back to the James Harden that we expect. But like you said, defense has never really been his thing. He has improved in that area, but that's still not his thing. So I definitely get what you're saying with that. But I think that's all we both have to say on this one because, I just want to get into this debacle that was last
I'm
night.
ready to hear what you have to say. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Post Up on this fine Thursday. I gotta give you your respect today, Thursday. I don't need no jinxes today. So Thursday, you have your day. You have your day, Thursday. But yeah, we're gonna start off with Russell Westbrook because Russell Westbrook is just a roller coaster in times, and I feel like last night was definitely one of those instances. Before we even get into what the post up is, statistically, if you look at just the main stats, points, rebounds, and assists, he played tremendously, but then you see those turnovers, you're like, yeah. And you see the highlights in certain moments, you're like, yeah. Because Russell Westbrook, could be, he's up and down, especially in the beginning of the season for the last few years. So that happened. The Lakers had a crazy league. Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you guys were up by above 20 at one point. Am I right? 26 points. Yeah. And then the league just slowly disappeared because that's how the Thunder play. They don't see the score. They just play basketball, and I respect them for that because they're just a young team, and that's what you got to do when you're a young team. And they did that, and they got back in it, and they won. But the main focus here was after taking that 26-point lead and then or deficit and then turning it into a lead at the end of the game. Darius Bazley, who was hyped up, it's a home game, feeling themselves, came off a defensive play, went off for a late game dunk, and Russell Westbrook, who had to be frustrated, also wasn't feeling that move, and he did this.
And they throw it away. And there's the capper. The bow on it was Bazley dunking it. Uh-oh, and Russ is telling him, Russ is in Bazley's face, telling him not to do that. This is not going to sit well. Again, these two teams will play again next week at Staples Center.
Russ just got tossed.
Again, the youngest team.
The music, Oklahoma City's so wild for the song that they play, bro.
Those are the, quote, unwritten rules, if you want to talk about it. Whether you believe in them or not, that's up to you. Russ obviously gave Bazley an earful, and Russ tossed.
I want to read his quote, and then I want to, and then we'll talk about it, Jack, because I know you have opinions on it. But let me read his quote as to why he got frustrated and then eventually got ejected. He said, "When it's like that, happens. I don't let it slide. There's certain things you just don't do in sports. I agree, but also disagree. I think that they got they got the ass busted. So he was a little frustrated knowing that a lot of it comes on him. And then to me, I had no problem with that staple. I feel like we see that all the time. If they were blowing them out or if they were winning the entire game and they did something like that, sure. But when you're hyped up and you're at home and you get a steal and you put I saw no problem with that personally. Even if that was my Knicks, I'd be pissed off. But at the end of the day, I would look at it and be like, yeah, you played till the last second. Especially when you come back being down 26 points, you know what happens. But that's my opinion on it, Jackie. I want to hear everything you have to say because I know you were just ready to blow. So go ahead. How you feeling about this?
I mean, I'm never going to blow. Let me not say that because I just know the comments will be coming. But I'm never going to. I'm never going to be that upset at Russ. I ride with Russ no matter what he does. But there's a lot of misplaced anger in this moment. You know what I mean? Like you were 8 for 20 on your shooting. You had moments where you could have turned the tide and you didn't. And like Mike Glock said, you had 10 turnovers. So this is misplaced anger. So I don't understand this moment in time. Like if you're going to get mad, just pull out a mirror, sir, and just look at the. But this moment, it just makes no sense to me. And I love Russ. You know, that's my man, 50 grand. But this moment in time, I just can't process.
Yep. Like I said, it's just a lot of things. Like you said, knowing that it's possibly on him that it got there. It's not all his fault, but a big load of it is on his fault. You cannot have 10 turnovers as a single player. I don't care. And then on top of that, returning back to OKC and them doing that to him, like it's just gotta be a lot of things. So yeah, like you said, I think you put it perfectly. It was 100% misplaced anger. Look, if they were winning the entire game and did that, he has an argument. But to be down 26 points as the underdog team in your home stadium, and then you do that to you can't get mad at anybody besides yourself. So I get the unwritten rule, but that one right there, I had no problem with that one. So I'm with you on that. Misplaced anger, indeed. But let's move on to the next one, and this one to me. Oh no! Sorry, Anthony Edwards first. This one I did like. I was going at design ones, but Anthony Edwards. Now, one thing I love about the 2019 draft class, 2019 draft class is that, or 2020, whatever. You know what I mean? The Anthony Edwards LaMelo Ball draft class. What I love about LaMelo and Anthony Edwards is they don't change for nobody. When you hear them do interviews, when you hear them talk, they are 100% themselves, and I love that about this generation. You know what I mean? Like, especially when they're that talented. Like, yes, they're still, politically correct in some of their answers, but at the same time, they're gonna be as 100% as real to themselves as they will be when they talk with their boys. And Anthony Edwards is definitely that. And when he was asked about Giannis Antetokounmpo, mind you, the Wolves won, but when they was asked about Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ant kept it 1,000, and I thought it was hilarious. This was a great interview. I love all of Anthony Edwards' interviews. Here's the interview on Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, with a guy like that, you can't stress about him scoring. Like, that's what he gonna do. I mean, motherfucker, Sam 280 pounds. Like, ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, shit, we put 4 people on him. He still scored the ball. Like, I was telling Leo today, I was like, because we played Giannis last year. I'm like, bro, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Like, you can put 4 people on him. He might miss it, jump right back up, dunk that bitch. I mean, like, it's nothing you can do about it. So him scoring the ball it doesn't amaze none of us. We like, this is what he do. You know what I'm saying? But I can't even say we contained him. He still went for 40. Like, the game plan was to not let him beat us, and we came out victorious. But he still went for 40. I mean, he's amazing, man. There's nothing I can say about Giannis. He's unstoppable. I don't know what to say.
I love him.
I love it. I'm sorry. Ant is dope. I think it's cool. He ain't the rookie of the year because LaMelo doing his thing over there too. But yeah, I mean, I loved everything he had to say in that. And on top of that, being as real as 100 as you can be with a big old AE chain on, like I said, these dudes, they are themselves 100% of the time, and I completely respect that. The same way I talk about, with Kawhi, how he doesn't let us in, is the same way I like guys like Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, where that they are being themselves in that interview as if they were not talking in front of people. So I 100% love that. So I thought was he wrong? Nothing he said everything right in that thing. I have no objections, but that's your guy. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I saw this earlier and I was like, that is my man, 50 grand too. I love him. He was my rookie of the year. I understand.
Yeah, that's your guy.
My heart, that's my guy. So I love this. And he was right, because sometimes even I love Giannis too. He's a very likable player, but sometimes when you just sit back and you watch him, it's like, damn, like you said, what can you do? Because I've seen him, and that's my favorite thing about Giannis. And it's one of those things that I try to instill in the Lakers, but they don't do it. He follows his shot. So even if he misses it, he's still going to bulldoze you and get it and slam it anyway. What are you going to do when he's coming at you 100 miles an hour? Like, what are you going to do? I love it. Just like, we won though, but I mean, he's just, him scoring's not, I mean, he scores. That's what he's going to do. I mean, he's like big as hell. So I loved how he great.
Yeah, and that's why you could tell that it was not like a NBA interview. You had to get that. That was like one of those Twitter interviews from a different angle, because the way Anthony Edwards was talking on it, so they had that. You had that bottom angle, like, yeah, we're gonna put this on Twitter. This can't be put on our ESPN page. Like he's a little too real for us right now. I love it. I don't know. And I hear you, Kev. So what?
He's so real that I can't wait until that moment in time where he is kind of frustrated, because we've seen people ask him stupid questions before and he's handled it like no, we're a team. He's been very diplomatic in the way that he's handled it. But I still, because he is so real and he's going to have that raw emotion one day, that I can't wait to see how he handles a reporter when he's frustrated and he doesn't really want to be out there, but he's out there and they ask him that stupid question. I can't wait to see.
It's going to happen. He plays for the Timberwolves. It's gonna happen. So I'm with you on that. It's because you know it's going to happen. Now, I'm curious how you feel about this one, and I want to see how the chat feels. And I know I'm probably – well, let me not say that I'm alone on this, because I'm not going to say I completely like the fit. But I don't hate on it the way that a lot of you think. Though a lot of you guys have been hating on this. The internet was killing them. Actually, it was to me from my feed, because I got a lot of dudes that watch anime and so it was kind of 50-50. And the things that some of my homies were hating on had nothing to do with what he was wearing. It's the people that he was representing on the thing. They're like, you could have put this person, that person, blah, 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 blah. But Zion, people were killing him for his fit yesterday. I saw this. I looked at him. I'm like, look, man, I've seen Russell Westbrook wear dresses. I don't see what the problem with this is. Yeah, it's a little misplaced and all over the place, but at least there's a theme. You got the anime theme going on. My problem, stay here, Leo. Don't move on this one. My problem was this. Why this looked like he was like, oh, snap. Oh man, I lost my vest. Hey, can we do a quick order on Amazon real quick? Because that does not like I'm glad you got you got Naruto, you got Luffy, and you got One Punch Man on there and all blah. I get it. It goes with the theme, but at the same time, look how wrinkled it is. I don't know. It looked like he got that thing from Amazon the night before. But I had no beef with the fit. You can keep going. I mean, it's cool. I get it. I understand why people didn't like it, but I didn't think it was as upsetting as a lot of people did. What's more upsetting to me is the fact that he's even wearing this and not a Pelicans jersey. That's what I'm looking at more than anything else. But Jackie, you look at it. I know you have no dog in the anime race. I'm not even a crazy anime fan, but looking at that, is it really that upsetting? Was it that trash? Or I'm not saying I'd wear it, but I had no problem with it.
I mean, I have zero dogs. You could put 90 anime characters in my apartment right now. I would not be able to tell you one of them. So I have zero dogs in that race. But I always like when there's thought put into an outfit, and his shoes matches his vest. The only problem that I had was the white shirt under the vest, and with it, I thought maybe that should be tucked in. Maybe the vest should be bigger. But that's just, style problems. But the outfit. Should be bigger, sorry.
It's because Zion. Sorry.
It looked like I could fit the vest. I'm like, shouldn't that be hitting him different? But other than that, I like the outfit. I like that he put a plan in place. If he likes anime, which we know he does because he's mentioned it several times, then
a lot of that generation does, man. It's all right.
Let him express himself. I thought the outfit was fine, but maybe I just don't know it. But even if I did know anime enough, let me see. What do I like out? Like if he wore a LeBron fit, I'm like, where do I like as much as he?
All right, okay. This man playing for the whole Pelicans and just got a LeBron James fit on. Like,
what could he wear that I could? I mean, the only thing I had a problem with was the sizing. That's it. I love the shoes though. I thought the shoes was fire. I don't even like anime, and I'd rock them shoes.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I would have fixed is instead of that stupid vest, he could just wear a black jacket and with the same anime characters on the back as the vest. It looked kind of weird, and it looked like he got it the night before. But other than that, man, that's the thing. I had no problem with that. I thought I was gonna get flamed on here because I kept looking at it. I'm like, why are people roasting them so hard? It's just because it's Zion. Like I didn't have beef with it. Like I said, I've seen way worse. To me, at least he had one theme top and bottom, so I was like, whatever.
The back profile, I was like, The front profile, I was like, but the side profile, I was like, oh, I see the plan. This is a good fit. That's
his best side. Yeah, that's his best side. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I'm waiting for the chat. I'm reading the chat. Chat is they're okay with it. No, I don't see anyone saying that thing trash. My man Kevin said he got that from Wish. That's even worse. That was all right. You got it, Kevin. That's what would you say? Wait, would you say, Jackie?
That's not right. Not Wish. Any place with Wish. Goodwill.
Saying, man. Goodwill. Yeah. All right, y'all. All right. Leave Zion alone. Like I said, put a damn Pelicans jersey on. Get healthy, bro. But whatever. It is what it is. All right, now we're going to go back to football because we have more on Mr. 600. The whole story continues with him. We told you about the updated haul that he got after after giving the ball back and rah. 2 signed jerseys from Brady and a signed helmet from Brady, a signed jersey from Mike Evans and signed cleats from Mike Evans, $1,000 worth of Buccaneers merchandise, and the rest of the season tickets and the full season, the next season tickets. So, and then also on top of that, Tom Brady is working to get him a Bitcoin. So, me and Jackie said that we feel like that's a better deal for the ball. But on top of that, Gronk is he helping out. If we can get the tweet up, it doesn't end there for Mr. 600. According to TMZ Sports, says the fan who gave up Tom Brady's 600 touchdown ball might not have the 500K pigskin, but his Coinbase account is surging in value. If y'all know Coinbase, that's Bitcoin, all that fun stuff, tokens, blah blah blah. Because Rob Gronkowski and Mojo, I cannot say his name, are hooking up the dude with over $30,000 in token. Now, what I do know about it is that 30,000 can eventually turn into that 500 if it went the right way and if things go. If he handles it properly, it could go in that direction. But even if it doesn't go over there, to get everything he got on top of that and $30,000 in token, the man, I think he won. I don't care. I understand it's not that $500,000, but I think he won. In my eyes, even before this add-on, I thought he had a good haul. But Jackie, what do you think? I know you and me, we trying to figure out this whole coin stuff, you know what I mean? But at the same time, adding on, knowing at least the coins that he got is within $30,000 of value. You think that just adds on to, that's just like the sugar on the cherry on top? There you go. I got it. I came back.
No, I think the cherry on top would be understanding that most people don't understand Bitcoin, and instead of just giving him this 30,000 tokens or whatever, saying we're going to give you somebody who can advise you with this as well. Because otherwise,
ooh, that's a good call too. Okay,
if he doesn't know what he's doing, he's going to waste away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because that's the other thing too. You know that they're all big behind Bitcoin and all that stuff, and they're trying crypto, and they're trying to push it. So this is their way to introduce him into the world. But that's a very good point though. Like, I'm just trying to think again, putting myself in his shoes. If Julius Randle just gave me $30,000 and I'll be like, cool. But like I said, luckily for me, I got a brother who knows all about it. So I would just be like, Julius Randle, the New York Knicks just gave me all this. What do I do? Like, that's what I would do. But for this guy, he might not have that. Like you said, maybe he's into it. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Byron, but that's a good point. That's a good point because that could just mean a whole lot of nothing. But I'm sure he'll figure it out. He'll get somebody that can help him out with it. But hopefully it's the right somebody because that can go south very fast. Oh God, and then we're gonna start what we're not gonna do early because this next clip is what we're not gonna do when we trash talk. All I'm gonna say is y'all sit there and complain about Jake Paul and Jake Paul this, Jake Paul that. I'll tell you what, after you hear this man's trash talk and this terrible press conference, y'all gonna be wanting Jake Paul back in a fight because this is trash. This is garbage. This is awful. But you don't believe me? I ain't cut none of it because I want y'all to sit there in the awkwardness the way I had to sit there and watch this entire thing too. So check out my man trying to talk some trash. Go ahead.
Man, I just want to say I'm excited to be here on Showtime. You know what I mean? I might be honestly the youngest. Well, I mean, as far as like record-wise, like as far as like all the YouTubers and stuff, with the exception of them, I might be the pay-per-view fighter with the least amount of fights, you know. But I mean, you guys gonna see the semifinal. I'm gonna knock this dwarf the out. That's how it is. You hear that? I'm gonna knock you the out. Flatline. You know how it is. You damn scared? What the am I scared of? You literally, man. You a
You say you can't even talk.
dwarf, man. I'm telling you, man. I can't even mess with your head. I can't even mess with your head. It's so big, like this big. And your little T-Rex arms, man. My longer than your arms. Yeah. I'm gonna knock this chump the out like that.
And for those who are curious and wondering, yes, there are people in the crowd. It was not just that silent, them talking in the empty room. There were people there. It was just actually that quiet. That was the most awkward thing. Like, I've never been sold against the fight when you're trying to promote a fight the way I have. I'm not watching that. I wasn't gonna watch it to begin with, but now I could care even less. Even if that thing goes trending on my Twitter, I'm gonna try to find a way to delete that. Because what did we just witness? Yeah, I can't even get a shot at your head. No, T-Rex on. Like, what are we talking about right now, Chief?
And did he just call that man a dwarf and he can't even see over the podium? Did he say dwarf in that?
Yeah, that's what made me laugh. He called him several times. They're talking like this.
See over the podium. Man. I know you got a booster seat in the car. This a lot.
Like I said, all I'm saying is, I know. Look, I don't care if y'all disagree with Jake. Jake, what you doing, bro? Can we get some action back in boxing? Because I don't know what this is going on right now. Where you at, Jake? Because I don't want to deal with this. Anyways, that's what Jackie. Look, what I'm not gonna do is watch that fight. But Jackie, can you tell us what we not gonna do today on this fine Thursday?
Man, stay in school. I mean, let's. God, okay. Focus. All right. So let's get into what we're not gonna do. This one's going to be fairly quick as well, because this one is just common sense. We've talked about this before. I'm going to tell you this now, and this is going to resonate across all platforms, no matter what it is. Internal investigations do not work. They are not designed to work. They are designed to do damage control. Anytime you hear somebody say, oh, we're doing an internal investigation, what that should translate to you is, we are doing everything we can to cover up the worst parts of this as much as we can. We're going to give y'all a little something to make you feel like we've done some due diligence. We're going to slap a few people on their hands, but y'all ain't never going to know what the hell really happened. That is what an internal investigation is. And that's why cops always get away with stuff. And that's why the NFL does not want to release the full gambit of things that happen in those emails from Gruden. Now, here's the thing with that. Understand that investigation happened against the Washington football team, and the sacrificial lamb ended up being Gruden, because that should let you know right now that there's a lot of stuff in those emails, but they were like, we got to do something, because otherwise this attorney, who is clearly just a pit bull and she's not going to give up, she's just going to keep coming, and she's going to keep coming. Roger Goodell, to me, I don't ever want to say I have anything in common with Roger Goodell, but every time I see him try to finagle something or lie about something, I think he and I have the same thing. We are not good on the spot liars. Somebody need to coach this man on what to say. They need to have him in a room where they come at him with every possible question so he knows how to lie properly. He is not good on his feet when it comes to lying. But let you guys hear this, because this investigation, again, was launched against Washington, not ESPN. So the fact that we got Gruden out of this is just hilarious. Now we should see all of the emails. In order to have transparency, we should have all of the emails. A reporter asked him about that, and his answer is pretty much, take a listen.
Going back to the first point you made, is there a way to release more information about the investigation while also protecting the anonymity of some of the people, possibly through redactions or something like that? And then also, how do you intend to respond to the inquiry from Congress on the same issue?
Well, we're responding to Congress as appropriate, so we'll be cooperative. We've been in touch, and we will certainly do that. We look forward to that opportunity to do that. On the first part, we don't think so. We feel that this is the appropriate way to do it. We summarized the findings of Beth and made it very clear that the workplace environment at the Washington football team is not what we expect in the NFL, and then held them accountable for that. But more importantly, steps were put in place to make sure it does not happen again. And so we think protecting the people that helped us get to that place, the people that unfortunately had.
He's just a step up from that guy that we just saw on that podium, just like a baby step up from that. This is just terrible because basically he says we summarized what happened. No, sir, you do not get to summarize what happened because, again, if I cut Chris with a knife and then I have to give you a dissertation about it, I'm like, it was just like a paper cut. That's me summarizing this. I'm not going to give you the full details of what happened if I get to summarize it. That's number one. Number two, when you say the most important thing is we put things in place so that these things never happen again, what things are we talking about? We only know this one little triangle of things. What things are we talking about? Unless we know everything that happened, you couldn't possibly put things in place to make sure that they don't happen again because you covering them up. The only way that you can make policy is if you let the full truth be known. So that's a full-blown lie right there. And then on top of that, I want you to see this next one, because this is how you know that they are lying. So this says, report, the NFL knew of Gruden's emails months ago, but waited to let everybody know. The reason why they waited is because they probably did do their own internal investigation to see what else was in there. And at the end of the day, they decided that he was the best sacrificial lamb. There is other things in that emails. He wasn't emailing himself, and the investigation didn't come for him. He was just a casualty, and they were willing to sacrifice him for that. So that's how you know, number one, there's more things in it. Number two, like I said, this attorney, she's a bloodhound. So when Roger Goodell is talking about, oh, we want to make sure we protect those involved, she's like, we didn't ask you for that. So let me show you her tweet on what she said. I think it's she says, my clients did not ask the NFL for protection when they participated in the investigation. They asked for a transparency and accountability, and they received neither. Sir, I mean, that's drop the mic and walk out. They didn't ask you for that. You giving them something they didn't ask for. They participated in this knowing that their names probably would come out, and they were fine with that because they wanted the truth out there. You have said we cool with not having the truth out there. Here go Gruden. That's exactly what happened. So what we not going to do, I've had a problem with the NFL for a long time. Truth and the NFL, they don't belong in the same sentence. And the fact that this reporter has to say something like, well, what if Congress wants to get involved in this investigation? Really? We need the government to get involved before y'all tell the truth? How bad is this? That should be our first question. How bad is this that the government needs to say, nope, we really need to investigate this more? The NFL is trash. This well is a bottomless pit of nonsense and racism and misogyny and homophobia. It's the NFL. I'm not surprised by that, but the only way you can move forward and be better is if you tell the truth and the whole truth, which the NFL has let us know they are not willing to do. So this is what we got. Chris, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I just heard a whole lot of nothing from Roger Goodell. That's why I sighed, because this man, like, and I gotta say, he's a pro at that, at basically repeating what you're saying and saying nothing at the same time. You know what I mean? He's a pro at that. I learned nothing from his response. He just said a lot of words, and he took a long time to say them. That's all I heard. And then with that what's his name? I already forgot. John Gruden situation, the whole knowing this months in advance, I believe that. All this was, them getting rid of him, is to hopefully make themselves look good. Like, we got rid of the problem. We did it. We can't let this stand in the NFL. People talking like this and saying those kinds of things. We took a stand because we're the NFL. And we're very serious about those kind of things. Nah, and to find out this, you found this out months ago, and I know all I need to know. So yeah, I'm with her. Like, they got nothing from this, and I don't know if they will get anything from this because the NFL gonna moonwalk the way out of this one too. But that Roger Goodell interview, I feel like we just watched the same interview twice. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like that's what he basically said to that reporter. Like,
yeah.
He makes head. Boy, did you answer the question?
T-Rex. Yeah, man. I don't know, bro. That's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, the NFL. I mean, if they don't look at this interview and see what an embarrassment they are as an organization and try to do better, then I believe what Mark Cuban said is coming. They're just going to. You can't keep supporting an organization you don't have faith in.
Can't do it. Yeah.
All right, you guys. That's all we got for today. We are going to come back on Friday. I know we're going into Halloween weekend. Are we dressing up at all, Chris? Are we going to get into any? Why even have a costume?
I want to say I don't think I have a costume, but the little ones have adult costumes. So my daughter, she's been obsessed with Lilo and Stitch lately. So she's dressing up as Lilo, and then the little man is dressing up as Stitch. So I'm excited about that more than me. But I have nothing. I don't know what to put on. I normally come up with my costume the day before.
Let's make up something. Like, don't go out and buy anything. Let's just try to come up with some sort of costume.
Okay.
I might have just thrown my own, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah. All right. So just come up with some for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, doesn't have to be over the top because they got to stare at our face the whole time. But
Right. All right. I think I got one. I think I got something. It's a little bit of a cop out, but I think I got something.
I think I got something as well. Also a cop out, but it is what it is. All right. So we
like you said, we gotta do what we got. Yeah, that's fine. We'll be all right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to follow me on all things social media at JRay the Fanatic. Follow Chris at CK2K. Y'all be safe. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all. He's out.
Out. Bye.
Chris is John Morant.